to me, it's quite interesting to look at reviews of games like right when they come out, because typically you're seeing things that are have a lot more to do with kind of the hype cycle around a game as opposed to anything substantive with the actual quality of the game itself or genuine issues that people have. You might have like bugs, you might have like that sort of stuff, but a lot of the time it's either going to be this game is bad because it doesn't fulfill every single wish that I ever had, or this game is amazing because it literally gave me a blowjob under my desk while I was in the middle of playing and I gained 3 loads in a row. I already paused you. Why the fuck are you still okay? I think it's going to be a little bit different now, like 4 days after release. I do know that a lot of people are complaining about the overall gameplay and especially the difficulty in the game. So, I am curious now if people have anything more substantive to say before I really go into it. I thought I saw something. I think they updated the game and changed the difficulty. You see, I saw, but I might be saying bullshit. No, I saw the same thing. Like, I saw a headline that said the same thing. And I saw that it was like some sort of Twitter post initially. Like, it was like taken from Team Cherry's Twitter. And then I go to look, there's no patch notes anywhere on Steam. And when I go to look at their Twitter, that post that I thought that I saw in some article somewhere doesn't exist. So apparently there is no patch as of right now, and there's no planned patch as of this second. Or at least not that we know of, I guess. OMG, I finally, Silksong stream, Angel Thump literally took forever. I was bitching about this for so long, dog. Fell for a silk post to make a little... Okay, so that's what it was. That's what I thought it was, a silk post. Okay. I do recommend this game with a huge caveat. Some of the design choices are severe. Expect to die over and over to get stuck on bosses. While the fight plays like a beautiful dance, the choice to make every boss do double damage, even with just contact, was a very bad choice. I understand the challenge is meant to be there, but that choice is false difficulty. I enjoyed Hollow Knight very much. Silksong seems like a challenge run not for casual players, so enter at your own risk. This isn't like the first game and seems to be poorly balanced against the player. Again, I'm not trying to tell Team Cherry their game is too difficult. I'm telling Team Cherry that using double damage on every single boss fight and every single boss attack was a poor decision. A beautiful and great experience that needs a bit more tuning. Fix the tiny guys that run into you for double damage, plus more benches overall and closer to boss rooms. I P5'd Hollow Knight, and I enjoy the extra difficulty. I fear the more casual players have been strongly neglected. Maybe an easier difficulty setting for them would be proper? Amazing game, but I'm not sure I can call it better than Hollow Knight. At least not yet. The gameplay is fun, the world is fantastic, and the music is simply sublime. However, the 2 to 4 minute trek between a bench and a boss fight combined with a fairly difficult platforming challenge feels more tedious than enjoyable. The fact that many enemies deal double damage doesn't help the experience either. And about the currency system, just let every unit drop rosary, simple fix. I've seen a lot of players complain about the diagonal pogo mechanic, and I kind of get it, but after 20 to 30 minutes of practice, it starts to feel natural, fun, and full of potential. That is one thing that I saw a lot, but interesting that this guy says that it's not that big of a deal. Because that was one thing that I assumed, is that the change in like pogo stuff probably isn't that big of a deal. Overall, if they tone down the double damage on some mobs and tweak the currency system a bit, I could easily say it's even better than Hollow Knight. Definitely a game of the year contender in my book, and I'm not even finished yet. I'm not enjoying this game. Difficulty ramps up with each boss, yet there are no meaningful upgrades to balance it out. I need the dopamine hit that comes from being rewarded for exploration or overcoming a difficult foe. I'm almost 9 hours in and haven't received a health upgrade or a weapon upgrade. I won't be continuing my playthrough because I don't like how frustrating this game feels. That being said, this game is still really well made. It may not be for me, but I know that there are tons of players who love a challenge and will love this game. The music is great, the visuals are charming, and the movement/combat feels extremely tight and responsive. It's mind-blowing this game is only $20. Team Cherry's given their fans a real gift. Maybe we'll pick this game back up after someone creates a mod that molds this game more to my particular taste. Okay, I found mods down for my speed. Okay. So now I want to go to negative. It seems to me like a lot of these reviews are kind of reflective of people that are mad because Hollow Knight was kind of easy and Silksong is not as easy. I played Hollow Knight. I beat Mantis Swords on the 3rd try. I beat the Hollow Knight on the 2nd try. I beat the Radiance on like my 7th try. Right? It's not a very small amount of tries, but it's still relatively low, right? The Hollow Knight is not a game that I would describe as difficult in the slightest. In fact, I think the Watcher Knights, or is that what they're called? Something? The knights that are right before, they're like in the tower with the City of Tears, and there's the mask up there, and they're right before the mask. Those guys I had more attempts on, but that's just because they were kind of stupid. It seems to me like Silksong is a game that might actually genuinely just be more difficult. And as a result, a lot of the kind of bitch baby people that really only play indie games that aren't that hard or play like the really basic modes are kind of crying because it's like Elden Ring and Dark Souls and Bloodborne, and it's too hard and wah. But I could be wrong. Who knows? I might be totally and completely wrong. Easy Silksong is so peak cinema. I've seen that you've been playing it, FOD, on Discord. I don't know how many hours you put in, but I assume it's a lot based on how much I've seen you play it. It's good. I've only heard good things so far. Well, aside from these people. So let's see what they have to say. Holy shit. Okay, I don't think I'm going to read all this, but let's skim it a little bit. At the moment, only a few days after release, I feel like the game is 90% of the way there. It just needs some pretty vital adjustments. Let's start with criticisms first. Health pool. Difficulty spike to Silksong is dramatic. Given that everything deals 2 hits of damage. Rosary economics needs to be rebalanced. Very tight resource. Pass, so it's hard to get. It's just 23 hours in Steam. Jesus, how long is the game, do you think? I feel like I've seen like 35, 40 hours for some people. Just copy paste it into ChatGPT and ask him to summarize it. So first of all, it's going to be about the same length, and second of all, it's going to miss very important context elements. So I'm not going to do that, but that would be kind of funny. But actually, you know what? Now that you said that, I'm gonna keep skimming this, and then I'm gonna see what DeepSeek has to say to see if it's actually similar. Secondary currency used for, oh yeah, so basically they're just saying that it's hard to get money, but then you have to use the money for bench stuff. Fighting as a boss over and over, not killing regular enemies for a while, capital on the shells, don't even bother picking them up. Use tool action. The use tool button is not mapped to a face key. Even worse, the use tool button is mapped a double button press, or one of the buttons will / use a limited resource. If you miss timing hitting both buttons at the same time. Okay, that actually does sound pretty annoying. This type of shit tells me a lot in games. Diagonal pogo, unpopular opinion, but I actually really like the diagonal pogo. Feel different than night. Feels so dynamic in the air. One of the problems would be solved if there was some sort of auto targeting added. Overlapping hitboxes, lots of specifics. I adore the exploration in this game. It really feels as though the world is so much bigger than Hellenest, and I love that. Sure, I found it a bit more difficult to tell the difference between the different areas. Enemy design is stellar. Environmental storytelling, where you have to pay to... that's spoilers, I won't read that. In general, this game feels almost there. It feels like Team Cherry had a very small batch of playtesters, confirmed from the end credits scene, and that they needed to get more folks giving feedback on this game before release. There are just a few really, really key gameplay experiences that are horribly miscalculated. A lot of this seems like adjusting some numbers behind the scenes, and a quick patch would be fine. I really, really, really want to recommend this game. The thing Silksong does well, it does well, but for the time being, I can't in good faith say that you should get this game, and Hollow Knight is right there. I will keep playing, but what if you've already played Hollow Knight? I will keep playing Silksong for a bit, but I sincerely hope Team Cherry fixes some of these problems so that I don't have to turn to mods. I mean, this just sounds like basically the same complaints that all the positive reviews are giving, so I don't, that just, you know. Based on this review, the player believes Silksong is very close to being excellent, but needs some vital adjustments. Here is a summary of their main points. So, you see what's kind of funny? You see difficulty and health we get, let's just focus on this for a second. 2 sentences. Down from 5, kind of 7. Really? That's the summary? That's it? We have to go point by point into the thing? You can't just give me one, like, block parry? Do you see how fucking long this is? This is almost as long as the fucking... This is almost as long as the post itself! I hate AI. Google AI Studio. Okay, we'll try it. Google AI. Oh, God. Whatever. I accept. Okay. Please. Oh, my God. Maybe I do need AI. I can't even spell. Please summarize the following. Oh, control. Or run as control? Control enter? Okay, there we go. Change the model. Dog, this is the exact same review the DeepSeek just fucking gave me. This is what I'm going to read. Ask it to be more concise. Okay. Oh, we got a little AI-generated image. How cute. Wow. This is the summary I need. This tells me everything that I need to know. Every single thing about this review is condensed in this one image. How gorgeous. The game is a dramatic difficulty spike from Hollow Knight. Enemies dealing too massive damage, effectively halving the player's health. Enemy pools are also too high, especially without damage upgrades. Hit and contact damage from regular enemies. That's a pretty substantive part. So that only says damage. Contact is a pretty important thing. Just look at his reasoning why he generated the pick. Here's an image that captures the feel of Hornet in action. I saw it. That's an amazing summary, dog. With bosses, it's basically given that they will deal 2 massive damage each hit. No mention of bosses. Is that if they'd wanted to give us 3 hit points, give us 3 hit points, we'll hide it behind the illusion that we have 5. Effectively having the player's health. That kind of summarizes that. Change model asked him to be sarcastic, rude, max heritage around 1,000. True. Economics, Rosary's currency are too scarce, making it difficult to afford essential items like benches and Rosary stringing service. We saw that. The secondary currency shells for tools is almost always capped, making shell nodes disappointing and farming for shells during a boss fight a pointless disruption. This point is not exactly true because they said it's almost always capped because they have near the max all the time. And I believe that they also said that it's used for less stuff. So I'm fighting against a boss over and over, and I'm not killing regular enemies for a while. I'm almost always capped out on the shells and don't even bother picking them up anymore. Seeing a shell node is always a disappointment because it's almost useless. And then there's the boss fights. Yeah, it's not used for much, so... Human versus Clanker, who wins? Me, because my brain is bigger. The use tool button is not mapped to an easily accessible face key. It requires a double button press, where mistiming can consume a limited silk resource, which is also used for healing. True, however, 1, 2, 3, 4... 1, 2 sentences, and this one is very long, multiple different clauses. I think, yeah, 3. I think we got 3 clauses in this. And this one, yeah, it's basically the same thing, just minus this and minus this, so that's hardly a summary. Diagonal pogo. While the reviewer enjoys the dynamic feel of the pogo, the feeling is tweaking with a light auto-targeting system. They often land next to enemies or miss platforms despite reasonable aim, leading to frustrating damage or missed opportunities. Accessibility is also concerned due to the dexterity required for training pogos. No. What? Oh, no, they do talk about accessibility. Okay. Okay, I mean, yeah, that's like a fine summary. Yeah, I mean, reviewer concludes that the game is almost there, but likely suffered from limited playtesting, leading to several horribly miscalculated gameplay experiences. They believe many issues can be fixed with simple number adjustments and a patch. While they adore what Silksong does well, they cannot recommend it over Hollow Knight at its current state, hoping Team Cherry addresses these problems to avoid the need for mods. Personal need for mods, mind you, so that's also a little bit inaccurate. TBH, the first time that AI generated me a pic, I thought that was a screenshot from a game I asked a question about. This does not even look remotely convincing. If somebody made this with these hearts over here and then over here, and then what is the color on this bottom part of the thing? Why is there this bar and then this bar? Maybe there is 3 bars in the game, but why is this one colored this way, which is the same one as this thing, and then there's no color here? There was another thing that I noticed. There's like those weird, like overexposed, like line things somewhere in here. The line work, like why is this line overlapping like this fucking little thing right here? Some of the background detail seems fine, but yeah, this is not even remotely convincing. Yeah, this is not good. And this just doesn't even look like Hornet in the first place. This is like, this would be dog shit fan art if it was fan art. And then this, from a UI perspective, doesn't make any fucking sense. You would fire the person that made this. Like, you would think that it was an actual, they sublet a fucking monkey to do the job for them. They subcontracted a fucking monkey to do it. It's stupid. Anyway. So the AI review, the Google AI review for the day, it's dog shit. It's stupid. AI is dumb. It's not helpful. It didn't help me here. It's just, it missed important points, and the only thing, the summary is still long as fuck, mind you. I might as well have just read the fucking thing. The only thing that it did was cut out some of the personal details or personal affects to the review, while just leaving all of the details in the same incredibly verbose way. I could have summarized this in a way shorter way than AI did. Easily. easily could have summarized this way shorter. Granted, I probably could have asked for a shorter summary, but given the fact that it lost a lot of very important like nuance with the language already, it probably would have been significantly worse. Okay, kind of. Holy Christ, brother! It is not that serious. Just write your fucking thesis. Go to graduate school. Jesus, fuck. Okay, it's a great game plagued by terrible quality of life and make everything tedious because they think it makes the game harder, but in reality, it just makes the game unfun after a while. I'll beat the game because I want the experience, want to experience the franchise, but as far as playing more than once or 100%, I have zero desire to. The cons I'm speaking of, long run backs, or even going out of their way to make a long run back. Well, we saw that. You don't get to upgrade anything till 8 bosses into the game. Use anything with basic attacks doesn't yield silk, so it's either do flashing moves that help or get nothing from it. Very few viable crests due to poor pogo suffering from suffering everywhere else. Either moveset or gear clockwise. Great game design wise and soundtrack with quite a few fun bosses, but God, playing can be so miserable at times. Everybody's just saying the same exact thing. So, just to set my own personal expectations going in, what I kind of expect is that people are bitching because they don't like hard games. Like, these are people that might not have played Cuphead. These are people that probably haven't played a Souls game. And they're whining and crying because the game's too hard. That's what I hear, okay? Because when it comes to people complaining about balancing stuff, especially when a game first comes out, and especially when I was seeing only a couple days ago, everybody complaining about the pogo shit, and now suddenly everybody's like, actually, the pogo is fucking fantastic. It seems to me people are probably just complaining because it's a different Hollow Knight and they haven't gotten acclimated to it yet. Let's finally boot it up.